All right, what's happening, everyone? Welcome to the last episode of 2021 of Total Football Club, brought to you by the Blue Wire Hustle Network. My name is still Alex Perez, and it'll probably be my name for the rest of my life. Thank you so much for joining us. One last episode, 2021. It's been crazy. I look back and I think about the Euro, the Copa America, the Champions League, the Super League. Everything that happened this year was just absolutely crazy, but I wouldn't want to do it any other way. You can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook at Total Foot Club. Subscribe to the podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iTunes. Well, Apple Podcast and iTunes is the same thing. Google Podcast, YouTube, TikTok. Sub, rate, review. Do what you have to do. We really, really appreciate that. And my goodness, do we have a great show. What a way to finish off 2021. He's back. He is back. He is a soccer fan, a FIFA player, and the captain. One of the captains of the Barca Academy Chicago U16 boys team. Ladies and gentlemen, my brother, Angel. Dude, we're doing this again. How are you?
Good.
Good? Just good?
Yeah.
Excited for the holidays, hopefully, maybe? No?
Yeah. A little.
Well, I was asking you when your game was over on Saturday. I was asking you. By the way, we're recording this literally the day before Christmas Eve, so it's the 23rd. This won't go up until the 20-something. But I was asking you after your game how long your break was going to be, and you said that you're not going to have practice for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Because it was like around halfway through last month, you started training 2 times, 3 times a week, and now there's going to be no training. How's that transition?
Well, probably going to do like personal practice for now and like keeping my fitness up and things like that. So it shouldn't be that tough.
Hopefully not. And it just, I feel like you get back into shape pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's never going to be a problem. But you've played 2 games this season. You've won both of them. The first one 1-0. The second one 3-2. Struggled a little more in that second game for sure. That it was one of those back and forth. I heard a term that I've never heard before. I don't know why. It was like a basketball game.
What the?
It was just back and forth.
Oh,
you know?
Okay.
That's no basketball game ends 3-2 unless it's like 5-year-olds playing. But this was like a basketball game in the sense that it was back and forth. Let me just ask you about the second game because it's fresh in your mind. What was happening? Because obviously, and these are just some observations that I made. You seem very comfortable on the ball, always. You seem very, and you were playing in the middle of a back 3, or on the right side. It was in the middle, wasn't it?
Both.
Well, yeah. There was a bit of rotation, but you were playing there, and you were really, really comfortable with the ball, and you were dribbling past the attackers that were pressing you, and you were doing it in quite an elegant way. But there was certain times where, you know, the whole team looked a little shaky. You guys still got the win, but what do you make of, 1, your opponent, and 2, your performance?
The opponent, well, like the first game, you know, we're all doing good. There was like 1 or 2 shaky moments, but that second game, I don't know, sometimes we just lost our composure, especially their first goal. We were all just like scattered around. I felt very vulnerable because it was a 2v1, and then like our left back he came and helped me at like, it was pretty late at that point, but it was pretty shaky. Like at some points, we just lost our composure. We lost where to be. I don't know if that makes grammatical sense, but we just didn't know where to be at times. But no, the opponent was good. I can't lie. They were pressuring at all times, better than the first team. but we just got the win. We're the better team.
Yeah, and that is something that I personally noticed now, and I compare it to your team a couple of years ago. You guys would go down a couple of years ago, and there was no coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this time, they tied you guys twice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You guys started winning, then they tied, then it was 2-1, then it was 2-2. So they tied you guys twice. There was some real adversity in 2 moments of the game, just off the top of my head, what I can remember. Do you think that's one of the things that really differentiates this team to your team a couple of years ago?
Yeah, a lot because, well, I feel like I matured as a player. I may not be as social still, but on the field I speak a lot.
You're the only one speaking on the field.
Really? I don't pay attention to that.
You are. You are. Yeah.
Wow. I don't notice that, but I feel like I speak more on the field. I scream, and I didn't do that much 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So yeah, probably like the confidence that I've gained. I let go of the pressure a little, because like again 2 or 3 years ago I wasn't that comfortable on the ball. I could barely dribble through my friends like 2 to 3 years ago. It wasn't the best, but now that I feel more comfortable, I feel a lot more confident on the ball. It could help the team gain confidence as well and start to talk a little more. Because again, 2 to 3 years ago, I felt like I was the only one talking. It felt like I was the only one trying, even though some kids were, but it felt like that.
Yeah, and if your forwards look back and see their center back dribbling past the pressure and playing a clean ball to them, that sets an example, and that's that's a way of showing an example by actually doing it. You're not saying, you're not much of a vocal leader. You lead by example, and yeah, that's just one of those things where you really have improved. Your dribbling has improved a lot, and yeah, it might be it is a Barca Academy, and it is exactly what you expect, because they expect they expect every player on the pitch, and even the guys waiting for their turn on the bench, they expect every single one of those players to have good control of the ball. And it appears like every one of your teammates is very good on the ball. They compose themselves very well, even if they have 2-3 guys coming at, which if you have 2-3 guys coming at you, I think that's a big advantage, because someone is open, right? It comes down to a numbers game. But every single one of your teammates, doesn't matter if it's a starter or if it's or if it's a player that comes off the bench, they all seem to have really good control of the ball. And that's huge, because and this isn't to disrespect the kids from the teams that you guys played against, but a lot of them didn't really have much of a good first touch, and a good first touch is everything. And this is something I take it back to speaking to some of my friends when they were playing in high school. I'm not going to say names, and I'm not going to say names of any coaches or anything like that. You probably know exactly who I'm talking about. But they said that those coaches, certain coaches, would work more on being physical rather than just having good control of the ball, and that's fine. They had good condition. Yeah. But they just didn't have good control of the ball. And if you have a good first touch, that's half the battle. And it looks like your team has half the battle won already. Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, in practices, like when I try to defend some of them, sometimes I just can't. They're very composed in training. In games, they compose all the time, and trying to defend them, not knowing where to be, where to go, just shows how good everyone is on the ball.
Yeah, and something else is that this also looks more like a team.
Yeah.
And this is something small, but it goes a long way. Every time you guys score, everyone goes in to celebrate.
Oh, yeah.
And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, because beforehand it was
1 or 2.
Yeah, 1 or 2, but also I think it's very fair to mention that you guys were like 13, 14 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're 15. You're 15 and a half. No, you're almost 16 actually. You guys have matured a lot, and it's a lot of different guys. I don't recognize any of the guys that were with you. I'm sure maybe they changed because puberty, but like physically, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So but I don't recognize a lot of them. It's really nice to see that this is becoming a team, and we even made a joke on last Saturday that one of the kids from your opponents, they were saying, "Oh, this isn't the real Barca," and in my mind, I was like, "Yeah, damn right, it's not the real Barca. These guys actually win," which I mean, it's kind of true. Although Barcelona ended up winning this past weekend, but now zoning in a little more on you and your skill set, I also sense that you are less afraid to go in for a tackle.
Yeah.
I know that was something that you talked about last time that you were on, which was like 3 weeks ago, a month ago, something like that. And you were saying that you weren't necessarily confident while going in for a tackle, but now I sense that you are more confident. You go in and you're not as afraid as I thought you were going to be. So when a player is coming at you, how do you make the decision whether you're going to go in for the tackle or you're just going to contain?
Well, I learned like to be in a stance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think you told me this stance. You taught me just since I'm like a dominant right-footed player, I put my left in front and my right in the back, and I'm just diagonal. And so if he's a righty, I could cut that lane, a passing lane, or his way to dribble. I could cut it off. And if he's a lefty, I could just switch. Almost like boxing. Just switching stances like that. And there's this one point in time where I just couldn't get it right at all, that stance. And then my friend, he just told me how to do it because he's mostly an attacking player, and he knows the stances. He knows like what he's gonna do all the time, but he knows like that stance can mess someone up on the attack. So if I see he's coming at me and he's dribbling with his left, I switch my stance and everything like that. And then if I do cut the passing lane off, it's just my instinct. I'm not like, it's just things I've done in the past, and I know when to do it, how to do it. But sometimes I just get caught out. That their first goal, I just got caught out. I could have stuck on my leg, but I just didn't know what to do. I got caught out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't play a perfect game all the time, right? That's pretty difficult. But what is one thing that you see an attacker do that automatically makes you in your mind go, okay, now it's the time to tackle? Or is there anything at all?
To me, there isn't. I just know if they do something, I just know when they're gonna do it. It's instinctive. It's muscle memory for me to stick on my leg. And again, that one friend that taught me how to do that stance, once I got it, he couldn't get past me. Like every single shot I would block. And I don't have the longest legs, but I would say I'm pretty athletic. So my legs, you probably saw in the first game how far my right leg went that way, and then my left leg went the other way. So
yeah,
Well,
I'd say that you're a pretty big kid for your age. Yeah, I mean you're 15 and you're what, 5'8"?
5'7". On a bad day, 5'6".
You're pretty much 5'8". Like you're as tall as me and I'm 5'8".
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler for anyone that hasn't met me yet. I know Chris was disappointed when I'm kidding. No, he wasn't. Shout out to Chris. He wasn't. But yeah, you're about 5'7", 5'8". Surely you're not done growing. So I'm sure.
Hopefully.
No, I'm sure you're gonna be close to the 6 foot ish, because that's just what it looks like. I don't think that you're just gonna stop growing there. You're definitely gonna be taller than me for sure. You're gonna be taller than a lot of people, and yeah, you're pretty quick. That's also something that that I saw in these last two games. I don't know if you got quicker or if you've been like this, because I do remember seeing you play in high school a couple months ago, and I don't know, I just didn't think that you were as fast as you are now. Do you think you got faster?
I don't know. I remember this like back in elementary. I wasn't that fast. I don't know. Like you didn't go to that many of my games, but I didn't feel fast. I felt I don't know, I felt like a piece of wood almost. You know, I like I did good at times, but I just felt like a piece of wood. But now like I don't know. I feel more athletic, more agile, more again quicker. But those like the past few months, it was like the first time I played in like what 6 months. It was after quarantine, so that high school season I did not feel good physically, and then obviously like I started working out, and then again with the team, our coach pushed us a little more to be physical and keep that touch, you know, because um I don't know if I should say his name, but he like had drills where he would keep our touch, you know, those 1-2s, and then he would have us do physical training as well. So he didn't he put both elements of the game into one practice session. But I do feel a little bit faster than April. Jesus Christ. But
Yeah, it's almost been a year.
yeah, man. Yeah, but I do feel faster and lighter.
Well, it sounds like it's a lot of off-season work
Yeah.
that gets you to that point, and that should be a point of emphasis for anyone, that the work that really gets you over the edge is the one that's done when no one is watching.
Yeah.
Right? You're not doing this work at practice. You're not doing this work when there's a bunch of people watching, or during a game, or when you're warming up, or whatever the case may be. You're doing this when no one is watching it, on your own time. You carve up time because you care.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, let me ask you this. You take a look at your game in general. You take a look at your skill set. Where do you think you can improve? Based on these last two games that that you played, because I think it'll be a little too much if I just ask you like a general question. Where do you think your game can improve based on these first two games that you've played for Barca?
Awareness, because that second goal was my fault. I'm not gonna lie. I cleared out 3 balls which shouldn't have been cleared. If I were aware of where I was and where the players were, we could have scored actually, instead of them scoring a goal. And also like my weak foot. It's good for passing, but you know I kind of also want to shoot if I do go up. So mostly awareness and my weak foot.
Okay. And finally, to wrap up this segment, what do you think this team is capable of this season? Do you guys think you can win some trophies?
We'll see, because we still don't know. It's only 2 games, and like I don't know how many games we have, but 2 games is not enough to determine. Maybe halfway through the season, but even then things could change. So I don't know. I'm a pessimistic person, so I kind of expect the worst, but who knows?
Well, I mean, at least you don't set yourself up for
failure.
For failure, no. And I'm sure you don't go into these things hoping that you do bad.
No.
You just go in there. You came to terms with the fact that it might not go your way.
Yeah,
which is okay. You know, it's fine. It sure doesn't look like you've come to terms, because every time you lose, it's impossible to talk to you. So, and that's okay. Mom always says, "Oh, it's just a game.
Oh,
You know, and she probably does it I'm sure she heard, but she does it out of the kindness of her heart. She doesn't want you to be so upset, but
Yeah,
at the same time, it's like the competitive juices are flowing, and no one can understand unless one, you've lived it, or two, you are actually living it and you are going through it. So yeah, man. Well, looks like your team started off pretty good on the right foot. 6 points, 4 goals in 2 games. That's something that should be celebrated, and it just feels like there's good spirits.
yeah, definitely.
There's definitely good spirits. That's something that I didn't feel a couple of years ago, but now it sure feels like it. And I haven't gone to your practices. I've only gone to your games. So I'm kind of cheating. I'm only seeing the finished product. Maybe the training sessions are different. Maybe
They're a lot more. I don't know how to explain it. They're better. They feel better. There's more. There's a little more fitness into it, and I don't know. Like, it feels fun to be there. You know, like 2 years ago, it didn't feel as fun. It felt like almost like as a job. I don't take this as a job. It's like it's a passion. You know, I want to do it, but it felt like a job. It felt like a 9 to 5 job. You have to be there. You're only doing it like to be in shape. That's how I felt. But now I'm like enjoying it, and I'm getting better progressively. So I don't know. It feels a lot better, more fun. I don't know if that's grammatically correct, but
yeah, more fun.
more fun.
Definitely.
Funner, is it?
I don't even know if funner is a word. Well, regardless, you know who we can ask? Our cousin Kate.
Yeah.
Shout out to her. She's definitely not watching. Definitely not watching. All right. We're going to take a short break. When we return, we're going to talk about our favorite moments of 2021. I mentioned some of mine already on the last episode. In case you haven't listened to it, you're more than welcome to. But I'm going to share some more. So is Angel. I'm sure he has similar moments that we're going to talk about and we will discuss. But that'll be after the break. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back. That's Angel. I'm Alex, and we are going to discuss our favorite moments of 2021. We were talking about this right now before we hit record again, and let's just address the elephant in the room here. Probably our favorite moment of 2021.
Messi winning the Copa America.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, that has to be my favorite moment, and I saved that for this episode because I wanted to talk with you about it, because we saw the 2014 World Cup final, the 2015 Copa America, and the 2016 Copa America. And Messi, spoiler, he's our favorite player, and I know I'm wearing a Juventus jersey right now, which might be identified with Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't discriminate, love the jersey, but we are big Messi guys, right? We are big Messi guys. And when Messi lost the Copa America in 2016 and he retired, did you think that he was ever going to win anything with Argentina?
No, I thought I was gonna die. Like when I'm gonna die, I thought I was never gonna see him lift an international trophy. Same with Cruz Azul. I thought they're never gonna lift Liga MX trophy. But like seeing it actually happen, it felt right.
Yeah, because he actually had played 4 finals with Argentina. He played one in 2007 too.
Yeah.
You were a baby. You were like 1. So obviously you don't remember that, but I do remember Brazil beating the crap out of them 3-0. And they beat them there, and then they lose these 3 finals a few years ago, and he retired. A pandemic hit. So many things happened in this world, and it happened.
Mm-hmm.
It finally happened, and no one really thought it was going to happen until it actually did. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Right? You just said it. You said it right now. And I was very cautious with, I just don't think he's ever going to win it. They're going to get knocked out in the semifinal. some I don't know, some fuckery against Colombia and the penalties that didn't happen. Which to me, that was the point where I'm like, oh, these guys, they might be special. They might be the winners when they beat Colombia in the penalty shootout. But yeah, I mean, even the performance against Brazil in the final from Messi, it was a little lackluster. But that's the biggest difference between this team that won and the other four that didn't.
Oh yeah, Messi was a star in those other 3 finals. I don't remember the World Cup final that much. I remember watching like every single second of it, but I just can't remember what happened except the Mario Götze goal.
Mm-hmm.
That one broke me, man. I don't know. And then the 2015 one, I didn't watch it. We were in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
There was a firework show.
It was on the 4th of July. Yeah.
I remember it. And then I was on an app just like seeing the penalties go green, green, red, and then I just saw the Chile's last penalty go green, and then I was like, damn, again. Yeah, and then the 2016 one, I remember you were sick, so
I had the stomach flu that day.
Yeah,
probably one of the worst days of my life. I was not okay.
Yeah, and then I remember seeing Messi just miss a penalty, and I'm like, nah, it is like from there I knew they're not gonna win anything. But then the penalty shootout against Colombia, and then Emi Martinez just bantering Yerry Mina. I'm like, yeah, they're winning it for sure. And then the final, like the Copa America final, Messi, like you could say Messi, oh, he got carried in the final, but I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No one cares. Yeah, he was doing good throughout the whole tournament. Why is no one talking about that?
He got them there.
He may have not performed the best in the final when it mattered, but he was involved a lot. Di Maria got the goal, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and again, that's the biggest difference between the teams that won or the teams that lost and the team that won is that when Messi didn't show up,
everyone else did.
And they felt like a unit.
Yeah.
They felt like they believed Lionel Scaloni's message, and that is huge because maybe the egos weren't as big this time around. And I know that might necessarily not be the case, but they just felt like they were all pulling the same way. They were all on the same page, and that's huge. That's huge for Argentina, especially when they do it the year before the World Cup.
Yeah.
That's real momentum, and obviously now they qualified, which is, again, it's huge. They won't really have a meaningful game though until November next year. So we'll see, but yeah, Lionel Messi really he's been criticized for being quiet, for not necessarily being the most vocal of leaders, but he was being very vocal throughout the entire Copa America and even his celebrations, and it just felt like the spirit of Diego Maradona got into him and he became a real vocal leader, talking to the referees, talking smack to the opponents, and really encouraging his teammates. That's something that really changed in Lionel Messi. But going back to our own personal experience, I remember I was watching the game here. Isabel was sitting where I'm at right now. Isabel's my girlfriend, and you were watching it in your room, but the TV had a little bit of a delay for whatever reason, and I just remember you ran out of your room, and I'm like, oh, something good happened, and sure enough, it was Di Maria's goal. Yeah. And then like 2 seconds before the final whistle blew, you came out. I'm like, oh, it's over. And like that, we shared that moment. We hugged, we embraced, because again, we're big Messi guys. It's safe to say that that's like your first favorite player.
Yeah.
Probably your only favorite player.
Yeah.
Or well, I don't know if it's your only favorite player.
I had others, but they're phases.
Yeah, but Lionel Messi was like number one.
Yeah, because you shoved him into my face at the age of 4.
But I did a good
Yeah.
thing as a responsible big brother, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, and that's why it was such a big moment, because Lionel Messi is a player that we both really admire, that we both really enjoy watching, and it was so much fun to see that. And again, just poor Isabel just seeing us like, oh, these guys are kind of crazy.
Yeah, and then mom as well.
Mom, of course. Well, mom is used to this.
Yeah.
Mom is used to this. She knows. She gets into it. She likes sports, but she doesn't feel it as much as we do. For her, win, lose, or draw, she still does her thing. She doesn't really care, but like, we kind of don't.
Yeah.
I know I don't. You might care a little less because you're more normal than I am.
Mm-hmm.
But me, if Messi would have, or if Argentina would have lost that final, I would still be like not okay.
Yeah.
Which, it is what it is. But yeah, Argentina. And it was also just beautiful how they all as soon as the final whistle was blown, they all went to Messi.
Yeah.
And a lot of people might say, well, why did they do that? He didn't do much, but he was the leader. Yeah. He was the leader of that team. And it was great to see. I'm so happy for Lionel Messi finally getting his. And then the World Cup is next year, so you never know. Maybe that momentum carries. Maybe it's a little too much to ask for, because this Argentina team, player by player, I don't think that they're amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's what we thought in this Copa America, and they ended up winning it. So, yeah. All right. What's a moment that that caught your attention in this 2021 besides this one?
When Eriksson got saved.
Mm-hmm.
After his cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching it. Well, I woke up, turned on the TV, and just watching him lay on the floor. That's not a pleasant sight, We're in Florida, so I was with a couple of my friends. We went to go watch some fights, but yeah, I just remember seeing him on the floor. I'm like, what happened? And the commentators didn't know what happened. No one knew what happened. And then you could see you saw Simon Kier, is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. Running over to him, trying to save him, basically. And then everyone just asking for privacy, standing around him, and then paramedics, blankets around him. And when everyone got the news, they were relieved to hear that he was okay. But it was not the right call to keep on playing that game an hour later. In my opinion, you can't play a game after you see one of your leaders on the floor. It mentally messes you up. So it was good to see him happy. Sorry, not happy. Okay, But to play the game 1 hour later, it was not right.
Yeah, you don't just snap out of it.
Yeah, you can't.
You don't. It's very difficult to. And yeah, when you guys started watching the game before we did.
Yeah.
And then I was actually getting ready to go out because we were going to go to the mall.
Yeah.
And then I walk out the room and I'm like, oh, what's going on? It was just like a wide shot.
Yeah.
On the TV, it was just a wide shot of the field, and it just looked like a lot like these players had seen a ghost or they had seen death. And yeah, sure enough, it was pretty close to that.
Yeah.
It was really close to that. And also, I regardless of what you think of whether the game should have been played that same day or the day after, or it should have just been called off, or whatever the case may be, this was a perfect example of how this game is so much bigger than just those 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It is a brotherhood, especially what you saw with Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
They really have a true bond with Christian Eriksen, and the rest of the players have a true bond. And that bond helped them make it all the way to the semifinal against England, and they were playing really good.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing really good. Kasper Hjulmand, man, props to him because apparently he had dealt with something like that when he was a manager at a Danish club. He had dealt with something similar, and now he was managing Denmark, and this happens to his ace, to his best player, and you have to deal with that. You have to deal with the rest of the team. You have to deal with the family because Christian Eriksen's partner was there too, and that's something that obviously you see the partner, you see the man on the floor, you see the teammates crying or on the verge of tears. You see grown men broken in front of you, and you're like, what do I do? And Casper Heumann, props to him. He kept his cool, kept his composure, and he led this team to a great run.
Yeah.
An amazing run. They qualified to the World Cup already too, so that could be something that to look out for because that's a really good team. But what happened to Christian Eriksen? That's man, that's one of those things that you just don't forget ever.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing he's okay.
Yeah.
He's okay. He's okay now, and man, it shows you that it happens. It can happen to anyone. It happened to one of the most elite athletes, or one of the most elite type of athletes in the world. It can happen to anyone. So, yeah, it's crazy and it's eye opening. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
What about changing topics a little bit? What about 2 days later, Patrick Schick's absolute worldie of a goal?
Yeah.
Goodness, that's why would he? I still have no idea why he attempted that.
I was sleeping. I was sleeping perfectly. And then I hear, "Oh my god." Like from you, I'm like, something must have happened, because you don't scream like that unless something actually happens. It's something crazy. And then I walk out, even though I hate waking up quick. And then I just see Schick just trying Shab from halfway. And I'm not a morning person, so I kept the straightest face. But I knew it was something crazy. So, it was like I've never seen that. I have, but to happen in a Euro at in a group stage match when it matters a lot, it was pretty crazy.
I'm sure you've seen this before in other sports, but that's the ultimate. Oh my God, what are you doing? Oh my God, what are you doing? Oh, you legend, what a goal.
Yeah.
That happens a lot with quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, oh my God, what are you doing? They're throwing like a 70-yard bomb, and then the receiver catches it, and you're like, oh, I can't believe it. Like,
yeah,
it was just so unbelievable. I was standing like right here watching the game before I went to work, and I just see him attempt that, and I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And then it goes in, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That is surreal.
Yeah.
And again, I think you mentioned something incredibly important, the context of this goal. In a group stage.
Yeah.
In a Euro. It doesn't get any bigger than that. That's just ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And to me, it's the goal of the year. Do you think it's the goal of the year?
There's others, but probably.
Which one do you think can compete against that?
Oh man, there's so many. Maybe no. Oh, maybe. The goal from Thiago Alcantara, like a few weeks ago, where he hit it so perfectly and just never touched the ground, even though he was aiming for the ground. I don't know if it was against Milan, I think. That one is just like satisfying to watch. I like satisfying goals instead of like halfway goals. I don't know, but both were really good goals. But I like Thiago's a lot more.
Interesting. You're not the only person that has told me that that's not the best goal. some people have said that that's not even the best goal of the tournament in the Euro. I've heard that from a few people. I'm like,
Who else
well,
scored like a banger?
that's a good question.
Because I don't.
I don't know.
The only Thorgan Hazard versus
Portugal?
That one was a really good goal. He shot it from like 25 yards out.
Yeah, also one of the worst games of the tournament. That game was really bad.
It was boring.
It was really bad.
Boring.
Like entertainment wise,
Yeah.
it was bad. But yeah, Patrick Schick's goal has to be like
Top 2.
Yeah. To me, it was the best goal of the tournament and the best goal of the year. Just putting it in when you put that context into consideration, that was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
that was absolutely ridiculous. And then he went on to have a run, and then he got like his nose broken too.
Yeah.
Against who was it? And it was in their second game.
I don't remember.
Croatia, I believe. Oh, Luka Modric scored a banger.
I don't remember it.
I think he scored a banger. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he scored a banger. But yeah. Okay. Any other moments that you have from 2021?
I just changed mine because it just popped into my brain. When Raul Jimenez scored his first goal.
Nice.
Back from his injury.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, well, I talked all about that one on the first episode, but I want to hear your thoughts.
The Code Red documentary came out.
Perfect. Yeah.
So it was really like not hard to watch, but like it was pretty sad. You know, like seeing what happened to him, and then seeing Nuno Espirito Santo like crying during that documentary, like seeing how much like love he has for Jimenez, and like seeing what happened to him. Like you can't like that injury messes you up pretty badly, a broken skull, and then like what it does to your brain and everything. So seeing him score a goal like that, he drove past like 2 players. So seeing him score in that way, just like it didn't make me feel relieved, because you know he was on a goal drought. Even like he was playing for like a month since then, and he didn't score a goal. His team was losing, I think. I don't know. They were tying. They weren't winning that much. And then when he scored, everything just came back to life for Wolves. And they're like top 5. No, top 8, I think.
They're in the top half of the table for sure.
They are. They've been doing a bit better. And, you know, again, just seeing that documentary just makes you, it gives you like another
perspective
of like the family, the paramedics, and his point of view as well, because we didn't know much about his point of view. And like he said that like, his partner said that for like the first 3 days he would call her like 3 times asking the same question. Like it's pretty funny, but you know it's pretty serious at the same time.
Yeah, because they were saying, the paramedics that they interviewed, or one of them, was saying that that's pretty normal after a head injury, especially with trauma like that. But yeah, it gives you a very different perspective, because even Raul Jimenez, he didn't go public on his situation, and even like a month after it all happened. It was like around this time last year where he actually came out and he said, "Hey, like I'm okay, I'm doing better. I'm in rehab. Thanks for everything." You know, just like stuff like that. It took him a while. It took him a while, and we were just getting updates from other people. But yeah, I don't know if you saw the part where Nuno, when Wolves and Tottenham played, Nuno stuck around after the game to meet Raul Jimenez's daughter. And he was playing with her, and they were talking, Raul and Nuno and stuff like that. So Nuno really loves Raul Jimenez. How unfair is it that Nuno lost his job in a season where Raul Jimenez was hurt, like half of it? That's very unfair. Don't you think that if Raul Jimenez was playing, he would still be managing Wolverhampton?
Probably. And then he managed Tottenham, and that was not it.
Yeah, no, definitely not it. But yeah, that's I'm glad you mentioned the documentary because that was a really really good documentary, and it's the good thing is that it's free too. You don't have to pay like Netflix or anything. It's on YouTube. So yeah. Anything else you want to add about that?
No.
No.
Really.
Okay. Well, to wrap it up, let's stay with a Mexican theme, and I know that this is something that we joked about a lot beforehand, and let me put it into context for people who aren't very, very knowledgeable about Mexican soccer, the Mexican League. First and foremost, there's two tournaments that are played. It's the Apertura and the Clausura, right? So there's basically two champions in one calendar year and in one season. And it is, it makes it a little more exciting.
Yeah.
It makes it a little more exciting, but there are two teams at the start of 2021 that hadn't won a title in 24 years and 70 years, respectively. What if I told you that both of those teams won a title this year? You would have been like, no way. No way was that going to happen. But guess what? It did. Cruz Azul won their first title since December 1997. And Atlas, a few weeks ago, won their first title for the first time since 1951. It all happened in 2021. The memes ended because if you guys know how us Mexicans are, we just make fun of everything. We make fun of everything and anything and everything. And those memes were over for Cruz Azul. Those memes were over for Atlas. They did it. And it was funny because when Cruz Azul won, we're like, what are we going to make fun of now?
Yeah. Pumas,
yeah, but they won it like 10 years ago. And I know a lot of Pumas fans, so I don't think
Yeah.
Shout out to Mariano Trujillo. Our guy, he's cool. He's cool. But when you saw that, first Cruz Azul and then Atlas, well, we watched that one together. But when you saw Cruz Azul, because I feel like that one was like the more impactful one because we made more fun of them. What went through your mind?
I was happy for them,
Yeah.
Because like at times I felt bad for making fun of them. So I just remember this one final. Was it 2013? that one.
Yeah. Say it.
It was. We were out eating. We were celebrating a cousin's graduation.
Yes.
And then I just see how much were they up in the aggregate?
I think it was 3-1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then I see 3-2, and then 3-3.
We were keeping up with it on my phone, remember?
And on the TV, it was pretty far, but I saw. You're blind, so I saw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got close to the TV because we went to the bar.
Yeah.
Because we were like on our way out. And we saw the penalties at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was crazy because that's when I got the knowledge of they bottled every single final that they are in. So once I got that knowledge, I'm like, yeah, this is the team we're going to make fun of. And then it happened again and again and again. Like, and until it didn't happen, which was this year. Who do they face?
They faced Santos.
Yeah.
Which is a team that they're pretty good. They won a championship like 3 years ago. And then before that, like 6 years ago. And then before that, like 9 years ago. So they, like in the last decade, they've won 3 titles. They're a pretty good team, and they beat them.
Yeah, and when I heard the final whistle, you saw the camera shake, the fireworks going off. It felt right. And, well, this Atlas one, I don't know, it didn't feel as impactful. But knowing the people from Jalisco, knowing that Vicente Fernandez died.
All in the same day. That's the most iconic Mexican singer from Guadalajara died on December 12th, and then one of the clubs from Guadalajara won their first title in 50 years that same day. That it was chaos. That whole day.
Yeah, and then well, beforehand, like before the game even started, before they even sang the national anthem, Mom, she was having the funeral for Vicente
On
Fernandez.
TV, yeah.
On TV. So that was pretty emotional to see. And then the national anthem at the stadium, it was loud. Again, the camera shaking, and then they started playing a song from Vicente Fernandez. Yeah, obviously. They're playing I think Mi Rey, was it?
El Rey.
El Rey?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I know you're not the biggest fan of him, but that's
El Rey.
yeah,
Same
thing. It's still a king. That's the thing with Mexican soccer. There's just so many things that are intertwined, right? But yeah, that was crazy. It was one of the craziest moments, both back in May and in December, and that's Mexican soccer for you. It sucks for the most part, but that was cool. That was great to see both fan bases incredibly loyal, of course, and they finally got theirs. All right, we're gonna take another short break. When we return, we have a massive announcement for you guys. Stay tuned. All right, and we are back. Let's finish this off with a bang. Let's finish 2021 off with a bang. No more anticipation. We're just going to say it. We have a big announcement, and here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, starting January 13th, every other week, this man right here, my brother Angel, will be joining us. Special editions of this podcast. So starting the 13th, and then every other Thursday moving forward, he will be here, sitting right there. I'll be sitting right here, and we will be talking smack like we always do. Dude, this is awesome. This is incredible. I'm so happy that we're finally able to announce it. We were trying to coordinate it, but this is great. How do you feel?
I don't have much to say.
Well,
I feel good.
I would hope that you had more to say, because now you're agreeing to join a podcast. You have plenty of things to say always when the microphones are on and the cameras are on. But dude, I know that for someone that isn't as social as like you are, and that's how you are, that's your personality.
Mm-hmm.
I know it probably takes a lot out of you to do these things. So I appreciate it.
Sometimes, you're my brother, obviously. I've known you my whole life. So it's not like going out to like a party and talking to a stranger, which I'm not good at all. My friends know that. So
I think everyone knows that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know it probably does take a little bit out of you, but it's funny that we've gotten a lot of compliments from this, from what we did a few weeks ago. And it's funny that people have said how comfortable you look in front of a camera and how confidently you speak. And it's like, wow, I didn't know this side of Angel. And I'm like, well, I kind of did, but not really, and here he is. So it is awesome. It is awesome to see you do this and do it because you like it, not necessarily because you want to live up to it. Yeah. No one's forcing you. No one's, I'm not telling you, oh, if you don't do this for me, I'm never going to talk to you again or anything like that. Like we're doing this because we genuinely enjoy it. And I think it'll be a lot like the first segment of the show, where we just kind of talk about you and your team and, your skill set, your improvements, stuff like that. So yeah, man, any words you have for the TFC faithful?
No.
Come on, man. They're waiting for you.
I don't know what to say.
It's fine. It's fine.
No, not really.
It's fine. I'll speak on your behalf, and I hope that you agree with my words that I'm about to say. Expect the heat. That's all. January 13th. Expect the heat. We're gonna bring it. We're definitely gonna bring it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It really is. It's gonna be a lot of fun. The insight that you get from someone that actually does it, from someone that is playing, someone that is inside the pitch, and someone that that takes the hits, someone that covers the spaces, someone that gets an earful from their coach. It's a very different perspective, and it's great to get that every other week starting the 13th of next month. It is great. It is something that not a lot of people get to witness, and I am lucky enough, along with the people that are watching us, which the community is growing and growing a little more. I don't know if we've hit the 200 subscribers by the time that this goes up.
You're one away.
I know I'm one away. What the hell? But probably even if I check right now. But this is something that we get access to, and who knows, if you become a professional and you do this for a living, meaning that you play football for a living, we got first access to a professional player wherever you may be playing. And then if you don't end up becoming a professional player, well, now you have this. Now you have this experience. So there's that. You're in a win-win situation, and I'm really glad that you're on board, and it makes me really proud that you are doing this. And again, not because I'm forcing you, but because you were excited to do it, and I presented the idea, and you were on board. So I appreciate it. It means a lot. And this has the potential of being like an Aaron Rodgers, Pat McAfee type of thing, you know, but we'll get there when we get there. I know that I get way ahead of myself and you don't as much.
Yeah.
So we'll get there when we get there. Any final words before we wrap up? Any wishes? Any resolutions that you may have for 2022?
Probably mature a bit more. Even though people say I'm already pretty mature, and just want to mature a little bit more. Wishing good health for the family and everyone I know, and for Man United not to win anything.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't know if I second that, but that last part, the others for sure. Anything that you're looking forward to 2022, both with your team and in the professional setting with the guys that we watch, Premier League, World Cup, stuff like that?
Going with the team, like talking to them more. I'm not that social with them, but once I do, hopefully I get to know them a little bit more, and that's about it.
Well, there you go. That is awesome, and I definitely look forward to seeing your growth as a person, as a player, as a man. Those are things that make me really proud. Very, very proud. All right. Well, that's that. That's it for 2021. Thank you all so much for joining us. The craziness, the name change, all the episodes that we dropped on you guys during the summer, the hiatus that we had after, and then we came back and you guys responded just exactly the same. It all means a lot. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to Chris, and I'm sure that Angel, the more that he gets involved, it's going to mean a lot to him, because now he's a part of it. So yeah, that's it from us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We really appreciate you all. 2022 is going to be incredible. We have the World Cup, and that itself is a lot of content. And I know I'm probably not supposed to use the word content when I'm actually creating this, but it's my show. I do what I want. Thank you so much. Health and wealth for every single one of you watching, and every single one that has supported. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Best wishes for 2022. See you next year. I know. Corny, lame dad joke that I just came up with. Take care. Goodbye.